Moo, hello, welcome to the Pink Tron. This is Craig Martin. I am drinking a President's Choice IPA that is non-alcoholic. I'll probably jump to something more alcoholic later. We are joined today by Stef Etienne. Steph, what are you drinking?
Back on Fanta Lemon, and I'm having a straw waffle also as some fruit.
Excellent. Also joined by Sean Fogenberg. Sean, what are you drinking?
I've got a Sierra Nevada Dank Little Thing Hazy IPA. So
Sounds good.
no race right now, so I'm getting my morning alcohol in.
Absolutely. And special guest who is at Zwift Community Live, Marjolein. Marjolein, what are you drinking?
Uh, I'm on water.
Okay,
I
fair
had a
enough.
big ride today, so just a bit of water. Need
Good
to
stuff.
hydrate and rest up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
What was today's ride? Yeah, like I
Really,
guess just as a first question, how has the riding been? How many people are trying to
there were
ride through each other?
no accidents that I've seen. I've not seen any ambulances or people completely wrapped up in uh, any completely wrapped up after a fall. So I think it was pretty okay. I would have expected a little bit more chaos.
Yeah. I think we all did, but I mean, really, if everybody's expecting it, everybody's going to be a little careful. So
Yeah,
that's going to help
yeah,
too.
everyone was careful, so it's I didn't see anyone try to ride through another rider or not brake in the corners of the
Yeah.
descents, so we should be fine for the next few days too.
What has the riding been like? Is it so you mentioned it was a long ride today? Are you like have you done Sakalobra? Are you doing those kinds of things?
We've today was I've been on the Uber pretzel today, so they named all the rides after the pretzels,
Okay.
and my ride today was to Puy Mayor. So it was there was another climb before that, but the main climb was over an hour, 14K. So pretty long climb, really beautiful, and it's just an amazing place to ride. So it's a really can really recommend coming to Majorca and riding here.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm looking at your ride today. It looks like you did what, like 130K 5 hour ride?
Yeah, yeah, it
Good
was.
day.
Yeah, it was a really good day and nice weather. So
Yeah.
that's good too. We just had to skip lunch because we had to go back to the hotel before for a meeting, and we were running a little bit late. So we had a team TTT with all the different teams, uh, just to get back in time to go for the meeting. So everyone is or there are about 30 different teams here, all with one representative. And so we're also having meetings and talking to people from Zwift, and but also we get to ride together.
So
That's
you're the only herd rider there?
well, Marius is here
Okay.
from also from the herd, and I'm here for herd racing.
Nice.
So we get to divide our meetings. So Marius goes to the group rides, and I go to the racing meetings.
That works pretty good. So I guess any big news or things you can share already from those meetings at
Yeah, I think you've seen most of it now. For the meetings, and nothing really to share, but I think if we look at the bigger picture, Swift is really really trying to support racing and to help organizers to get better numbers and then get in the good events. So there's been a lot of talk about what they can do, and I think they're on the right way. So yeah, we'll see the next months and year what will happen and what they will be doing to help us. And also, yeah, we had some media presentations and those kind of things, and there has been a launch, but I think you've seen it all today too. So we had all the announcements of the new features in this season in Zwift. We got to see it a little bit earlier than all the rest. So and we get to try the French roads in a bit, and there's yeah, just a lot of news going around.
Yeah, I mean, as far as yeah, I guess we'll probably we'll swing back to everything on this season on Zwift when we hit the news here. So I think yeah, that's probably a pretty good go. Have you so what's your best I met this person story so far?
Um, I got to pump my tires with Kirsten Armstrong this morning.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
when two guys were asking her, were going with her on the picture, and they asked, "Who's your friend?" So yeah, you don't know me probably, and I'm not an Olympic medalist,
No.
but yeah, you all those people you get to meet and get to ride with, so that's really cool.
Not an Olympic medalist yet.
No, that's a little bit
No, no.
yeah.
I only have one sport I still have a chance at, and I kind of haven't done it for 5 years, so until this year. You know,
Curling?
guys in their late 40s don't really have a chance at a lot of sports, but in curling, experience matters. Anyway, so I guess this week in herd racing, we have trying to read this properly here. Herd beginner racing is on Two Bridges Loop and
No, it's on Park Perimeter Loop.
Park Perimeter Loop. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, I think I see what's happened here. Okay.
Well,
No.
I'm just reading the companion app at this point, but
Okay. The schedule says Two Bridges Loop, so Nate didn't tell me anything different. But if the companion app says that, then that's probably what it is. So yeah, Nate's kind of taken up Matt's mantle here for the race of random. So okay.
Yes, the important thing for the schedule this week is no herd winter racing. We're
Yes.
all done with HWR for the season.
No more herd winter racing. Just a break.
Yeah.
So
Although we did have weather did occur yesterday here, as far as some people were canceling things yesterday due to snow and freezing rain. So
there's still the beginner racing or no
Yeah.
spring chickens. So
Yeah.
if you really need a race,
oh, there's lots of, no, there's lots of, I was just commenting on the winter being over. Technically, it
Well,
is spring, but that doesn't mean winter weather is over here. Um,
it, it's
So
almost summer. It's summer, almost summer here in Belgium. It was like 22 degrees Celsius today.
oh,
So
Uh, so I guess just as a herd winter racing wrap up, which I'm not sure we did last week, since last week was the last of the series. Marjolein, you put
yeah,
up a post yesterday about the about this, and we had a three-way tie for first in the series.
oh, that's
Looks like
incredible.
Yeah, we had
scorekeeper
three
Carl Frechette
riders.
and Doug
Yeah,
Oberman.
I didn't see it coming because I think Carl was leading almost the entire series, and he was leading last week, but still, there he was the only leader last week, and now there are three. So
That is,
surprise.
yeah, that's definitely one that can happen though, as you get to throw out a worst event towards the end.
Well,
There can be some jumps, so that's really neat.
especially if someone skips two races and needs that
Yeah.
last race, you don't see them directly in the standings.
Yep. Okay. And then yeah, short break and I guess for the women, we've got a T Sperry from ATP as the winner, and then I guess Catherine Denton as the runner up. So
Yeah, yeah, they were the only two who did all 8 races.
okay.
And I think Catherine is always riding in the Friday slot, so usually the harder slot to get the points.
Yep.
So she did really well.
I think she's been
Uh,
riding that Friday slot exclusively for 5 years. Like
No, I've
it's
seen
been
it
a
in other
very
slots
long
too.
time she's been riding that
She
Friday
is
slot.
often there, yeah.
Yeah.
just looking at the standings, it looks like the top herd rider was Kev Fowler uh, in sixth place, so not far off the podium.
No, no, that's quite respectable.
Cool.
And that's not what I was looking for. Okay, sorry. I was clicking on something and completely missed. So,
and our own Pinktron member John Keenan kept onto the second page at 34th, right ahead of Ernst at 35th. And Chris Greenland's honorary is in the top end of page two at place 22nd. So almost made to the first page.
yeah.
Only 6 points off.
Yep. No, that's good. Looks like, yeah, Kevin sixth, Big Bry and Mark McKinnon tied for eighth as herd riders. And then, yeah, another three, Heinz Ensign, a psychologist, and Terry Rigby all in the top 20. So
And Loris.
well done.
Yeah, I think we can count Loris also as a honorary herd member too.
Who's that?
Loris,
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, he rides for Italy, but he's been around our racing so long for sure.
yeah.
Okay, so if you do want to race this weekend, though, No Spring Chickens is on Greatest London Flat, which is a very interesting course. Is not as flat as its name might imply, though is pretty flat. There's a couple little
There,
bumps.
yeah, but not
No,
really
not a lot.
anything
They
big.
that so the kick up at the bottom of Box Hill. There's a couple other little rolling bits, and then the escalator.
And you go up Northumberland
Yeah,
Avenue
twice.
twice, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
twice. So once near the beginning and once quite close to the end, I believe.
Yeah.
So yep, it is a great race course, but yep, that's that.
It's usually used for TTT.
Yeah. So interesting race course. Very much lends itself to hang on to somebody faster than you as long as you possibly
Yeah.
can. So yeah, have some fun.
In herd fashion, I don't know why there is a. I think it's a goat emoji thingy on the profile on Zwift Power, but around kilometer 20. I don't know why it's there, but
All
I think
good.
that's those are the deers that are in the park there.
Yeah, it's got to be the deer. Yeah.
Richmond.
Yeah.
It's Richmond. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So next, Steph, you're let's switch to the Climbers Gambit Challenge. So
Yeah,
people haven't done the challenge before. Let's explain a little bit about the format.
yeah. The last 2 months or so, we have done. We started a monthly challenge. It was last 2 months was with Stampede. So ITT, get your fastest time on the given course, and from this month onwards, it's basically a bi-monthly challenge. Then between we're switching it months between Stampede and Climbers Gambit. This April is the first month where Climbers Gambit is taking over Stampede, and I said last week in the preview I was thinking about Bologna, but I decided to go with a proper Climbers Gambit segment, and chosen for this month Volcano KOM. So a nice segment. So we've taken over the time slots from Stampede. Hopefully, I did my maths correct on the time changes which occurred last week in Europe and this weekend in Oceania. But time changes and time zones are always confusing. And I messed up and sorry in advance for the two people who did it on well Thursday evening for me, or Thursday morning for me, or Wednesday afternoon for the US. I messed up the settings for the kilometers and set it right before the segment finished. So, but it's now corrected for the other slot. So, and you have all the month of April the time to set your best time. You can do it as many times as you want. So if you want to do it weekly, you can do it. Only your fastest time through the month counts.
Okay. Well, so that's it. So this weekend's climb is, or yeah, so the climb is
Volcano KOM.
Volcano KOM.
Which I mean, we have this talk every time. TT bike?
I think it's a TT bike. It's not
Is
the
it?
KX, which is extremely heavy, but
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's a TT bike.
I'm
Is it still after all the
I'm not
changes to the
sure.
bike?
I
I'm
think
not
it is.
sure.
Like, really, I think the biggest difference in all that bikes is nerfing road bikes with disc wheels. So
But the SL8's so fast.
the SL8's really fast, but I still think it's the TT bike. Like it's you're going so fast on that climb. Now I guess there
Not
is a
for
certain crossover point of
yeah.
lower power where it is not anymore. but I think it's somewhere south of 3 watts a kilogram. So
Well, and
I
the
don't know
advantage,
where exactly, but I think it is somewhere south of 3 watts a kilogram.
I
So
think
the trick
we
is,
should have someone
yep.
to try it.
Yep.
well, well, I was about to say you have an whole month to test out which setup is the fastest
Yeah.
for you.
How many times can you do it? And you can keep upgrading bikes and keep trying them.
There you go.
So yeah, no, yeah, that's so that the yeah, Volcano KOM is a really good benchmark uh kind of segment too.
Yeah, it's about did for I think for the slower for the full T categories will be probably over 10 minutes, but yeah, some people can do it 6 7 minutes probably. So it's depending on where you're at. It's a good length effort.
Yeah, regardless, it's a hard VO2 max
Yeah,
effort if you're really going for it. Speaking of hard VO2 max efforts, I think that at some Marjolein, you may have mentioned this in the chat at one point that the one of the new climb portal climbs is the Oda which uh, I can't remember if it was you who had suggested that like now this is the way to get like 25 times up the climb portal.
I wait 2 more weeks, I think, because in 2 weeks it's Kouberg, and that one is even shorter than the oude Kwaremond.
Yeah, because the Quaremont's 1.5K at 4.3%, and you don't have to deal with the cobbles.
Yeah,
I
so it's
mean,
not really a climb. Yeah,
uh, yeah, this is
it's
one of those
really
ones that's much more difficult in real life, I think.
yep,
yeah, for sure.
You've probably both ridden it, yeah?
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a nice, nice.
Especially if you do the Ronde van Vlaanderen for cyclotourists, you're probably well, not maybe not on that climb walking, but on the other climbs you're probably walking. Anyways, it's all kind of different challenge because of the big masses.
Yeah, the oude Kwaremond is not that steep, and the cobbles are quite okay. So it isn't that hard to do. There are harder cobbled climbs in Flanders.
We'll see tomorrow.
Yeah,
Well, well, on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Once the Italian classics are over, we switch to the Sundays.
Great. Okay. Well, so I think next thing I think we want to talk about is HSRL. So Heard Summer Racing League. I know this is, I think this is probably my favorite all-time format of Zwift racing. Um, Fastest through segments on lots and lots of segments. Plus, just to keep people a little bit honest, 1/3 of the total points at the finish line. So it's an interesting format. Um, I think it's really good for fitness for a lot of people, even if you're not normally at the pointy end of races. And yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
that. So
talking about VO2 max efforts.
if VO2
Yeah,
max or even shorter above VO2 max, yeah.
yeah,
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of high intensity efforts. Now,
Great
when I
way
say
to,
lots of efforts, when I look at what
yeah,
you've done here, Marjolein, this
yeah,
is a lot of efforts. So week 1, breakfast crits and grits with 10 segments. Week 2, coastal crown with 7. Queens Highway after party with 6 segments. 6 laps of Queens Highway is painful. Um, Chain chomper, or sorry, belt. I missed belt lap with 12 12 laps, 12
I went
sprints.
easy on that one. I went
sprints.
easy on that one.
No, you
Yeah, we've
didn't.
done
We've
like
done like
16 or
15 or
20. Yeah.
We've
16.
done
Yeah.
more for sure, but that's still a lot. Chain Chomper with 6 segments, the Classic with 10. Um, yeah, there's no 4 segments classic HSRL, go
Yeah.
hard a few times routes here. This is crazy.
But there's
I
also
really wanted to
no
focus on a lot of segments.
Yeah.
So yeah. And there are
there's a,
some really good new routes over the winter that have a
Yeah.
lot of segments. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Classic is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
For sure. The Coastal Crown is like they're all because I mean the ones that you've reused, the older ones are terrific routes too. So yeah, no, that's going to be good.
I will say
Um,
the one thing that is missing from this schedule is one of those James Bailey specials. But it sounds like maybe that was we do that every couple of series, adding a like
I think we've just spread
50K.
out the insanity across
Yeah.
every race.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do a race that was too long because I've gone back to 6 week seasons.
Yeah,
So if you had to do a long race every 6 weeks, it would be a little bit too much.
yeah. I
So
will.
the
I
races
will
are,
throw my vote in for a long one for the full route of Bigfoot Hills.
yeah,
That's a couple
that's a good
hours.
one. Yeah, that's a
That's a
really
couple
good one.
hours, but that's a lot of segments. But you've got some time in between. Anyway, I think that's a good one. Um,
Yeah, I
so
think you will probably at least from this side of from the people on the podcast, you're definitely going to get some like we we can't do away with those long dumb ones entirely, but I do
No,
get the not one per season makes sense.
yeah. Um, so the rules. So this is a question because I'm not positive. Category enforcement.
yes, we're going back
Yeah,
to the old base group categories.
yeah,
So they're category enforced. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the old category enforcement that has both the ZFTP and ZMAP factors.
Yeah.
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 What was the argument for using those cats versus
Both the ZRS is really hard to stay in the same group for a while. So you get upgraded quite fast. And if you only have 5 pens available, um, you get really wide CRS groups. So I think this was the better option. So, and hopefully some people that are looking for something different than a CRS race just can get this one. So hopefully it will drive up the numbers too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. We had lots of good races under those rules, so yeah. Then next, steering is disabled. So
Yes,
you're
that's
using some
because
custom distances. So
yeah,
as we know, if you're using custom distances, you almost definitely have to do.
yeah.
Um,
That's the only reason I disabled steering
okay,
because I wanted to do custom distances.
fair enough. Now this is where I want to make so I see what you're doing. Everybody's assigned the same bike. I assume you're doing Zwift Carbon
No,
or whatever. And then wheel choice is free. Now, I think if you just equalized all the bikes completely, and then I could race on my BMX bike.
I was expecting that.
So this is my if we want to get rid of the impact of upgrades, sure, I understand what you want to do there, but let's just go to complete equipment neutralization and let me race on my BMX bike.
Yeah, I made this decision before I knew it was possible to just neutralize the upgrades only.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I wanted to have a little bit of choice for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept the wheels open and just assigned everyone the same bike,
Yeah.
which is, I think it's Canyon Arrowed.
Okay.
So I just took a like an all-rounder bike for everyone. And but if I had to choose again, I would just neutralize the upgrades and just have everyone choose their own bike.
I
But
I
I didn't know that was possible when I set it up. So
I do think you're gonna get more lobbying from Craig to just like do full neutralization in something so that he can race on his BMX bike
I'm
because he has been like how many spins
do
did it
you
take you to get the
a
BMX?
lot. It took me a
do you
lot
have
of
it?
big spins. I got it finally. Yeah. But I kind of went full panic because I didn't have it yet at the end of the week 4 week. So when we hit the makeup week, I was late
Just
joining
spamming.
I was late joining every hour anytime I wasn't doing anything else. And then I finally
I I didn't get it.
yeah. You still have time.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think it's as important to you as it is to me.
Nope.
So I didn't make any big effort to get the Atomic Cruiser last year. Likewise, wasn't really a big deal to me. I'm a BMX guy. Like, "Hey, it's a BMX bike. I want the
Yeah.
BMX bike. It
This
makes
was
Zwift better." Yeah,
legitimately just for you.
it really is. Me and Tim Rush. I don't know any other BMXers on Zwift. There's probably a couple, but
I got it, but
actually, I
after like
can't say that. I forgot, and I've mentioned it on the podcast before. I ran into Veronica Stariska on Zwift. So,
uh, you mentioned that.
yeah, Latvian world champion at junior and U23 levels. So, anyway, that is it for.
Also, no
Oh,
power
no
ups.
power ups. Yeah. So we just,
Yeah.
yeah. So you guys
Oh.
discussed that last week. No power ups. I think, yeah, the basic feel on the pod last week is pretty close to mine. Sure, let's do it this time, but maybe we can do power ups next time. So
Yeah, I was
power ups are
thinking.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I like power ups too, and I wanted to do custom power ups,
Yeah.
but with all these segments and
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a lot
it's a
of
lot of
setup.
power ups, and if you get the wrong power up at the wrong segment, it can mess up your race a lot.
yeah.
And
Not that much.
yeah,
I like the random. So I very
but
much agreed with what Brent said
there
last
is
week.
also
But
an option now to give everyone the same power up at the start,
yeah.
like they did in Swift games, I think.
Yeah, where you get one for the race.
Yeah, so that's also available for community races now. So
Okay.
that might be something to try for the next time.
Cool.
If we do a little bit less segments, probably, but otherwise you really don't. There's
Oh,
no yeah, just one power up is not much then.
well, I'd say
Then
if
you need
there's
to
if if you've got one power up and that many segments, I think that
Got to be
leads you to
judicious.
Yeah.
you use it at the finish. You use it to influence your finish score.
Yeah,
If
and
you're
I'm
still in
not
the group,
sure
and yeah.
if it's only one power up or maybe two or just a set
Yeah.
amount of the same power up.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, just the default three power ups or the XP, it's that extra little bit of randomness that, like, sure, you get the wrong one, but
Now the XP
if
is
you're going through 10 segments, everybody's going to get the wrong one at some point,
yeah,
and it's how do you deal with it? So
but the XP is already out of the standard power ups.
okay,
It's
so
been
yeah,
been
yeah,
removed from them.
throw
Yeah,
out the XP, and then
yeah,
you've got three power ups, all of which are useful, but useful in different ways, and you're going to use them at different times, and it makes you think. So
Yeah.
anyway, that I think was Brent's thought, and I think I really agree with him.
yeah. I do agree with it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well,
that I think takes us to the end of HSRL. There's more details in Marjoleine's post the on the Facebook group. Do you have anything else you want to
Yeah.
talk about or mention with respect to it?
No, that's just like this mostly the standard rules we also use for HWR. So you need a power meter connected, and heart rate is not necessary for Zwift, but it is for Zwift Power. And yeah, if everyone can save their rights to public and not private, that would be great.
Yeah.
Just
uh,
letting me do some performance verification afterwards. So yeah,
I will say that I just want to put out there that I like the shorter series where you can try some different things. So having these 6 week series and like, that's the rules for this 6 weeks, and we'll try something else next 6 weeks, and
yeah,
have different types of races and like I like the variety.
Yeah.
So
I do like the core rules of it's fastest through segment, 1 point per place, uh, 1/3 of the points at the finish. Uh, I like that we keep that the same for HSRL, but then yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can change
yeah,
around that. Yeah,
yeah, and Swift is changing stuff all the time, so there's
yeah,
new rules to try and see if they work. Yeah.
yep.
so I guess speaking of Zwift changing stuff,
The
uh
news. So that brings us to, I think, let's just start with the headliner, which is this season on Zwift. So I'm on the Zwift Insider article because Eric does a terrific job. And yeah, so first thing, outdoor rides.
yeah, how's everyone feel about this? So I guess
Number goes up.
yeah, the point of this is that you will now get tracking of everything in Zwift, which for a lot of people who, maybe this means that for people who don't care a lot about their, uh, like the minutia of their power data or any of that stuff, it's just like of a centralized place for all your numbers to go,
Yeah,
and now you get some XP for riding outside, and so
your numbers go up.
personally your streak doesn't end. Like
Yeah, I
I
was
only
about to
got
say.
a couple of rides in last week, and they were both outside, and I was like, oh right, now no streak.
Yeah, I lost I think I've currently a 36-week streak, which was broken last time because I went on a 2 week holiday, cycling holiday. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's so definitely for the streaks, I get it. I mean, I brought this up a while ago on the more talking about the upgrades, I think, where it's, it's great, but you don't want to make people choose not to ride outside. It just,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, I think I like it. There's always the details and how you implement it, but I think I like it.
Yeah, I think um, the main source of how they do is because um, it also leads them to attach their customer base to Zwift. So they want to people to return and letting them keep a streak or let them also ride outside. It helps people to return to Zwift, and they also don't want to. They give you a fitness score now. So and the
Yeah.
fitness score is yes different than the racing score.
Yeah. It's
Um,
essentially your TSS, right? Like,
yeah,
No,
yeah, but
yeah,
also
Only
also
it's not,
the
because it never is exactly that.
no, but like it's
yeah,
essentially that. It's a
yeah,
measure of how
Yeah.
much and how hard you've been writing.
yeah,
yeah, but also so the what they mentioned already to the detraining. It's something I see with because I have a Garmin, and on a Garmin app you have the same the training status. You can it's showing as well, but it's basically I think the same like something similar Garmin Connect does in their app.
yeah, and
So
there's something in intervals. There's ICU. That's
Yeah,
it's a different naming, but it's also similar. But
I will,
if you're going to give a training score, you also need all the other rides to count.
yeah,
Otherwise, it doesn't do
yeah.
anything.
I will say that I am uncertain about whether I'm going to use this, and it all depends on. So when I do inside rides, I ride on Zwift, but I track it on my Garmin. And if I end up like, and the way that this is going to work is you connect your Garmin or your Wahoo account, and it pulls those in. If it is not automatically deleting the duplicate Garmin ride, uh, I'm not gonna connect it because I track all this stuff elsewhere, um, and I don't want to have to go in and manually delete all of my indoor Garmin rides, um, unless they fix the either they manual or automatically delete the thing that's like, well, this is the same ride, even if you did like two or three different things in Zwift that all end up being different rides because they're different activities. Um, Unless they automatically delete the Garmin thing, or they actually track everything that you do for a whole Zwift session, and then I don't have to have my Garmin. But like, I hate the fact that. So we were talking about the DRS races this week, and I set a new all-time 20-minute power PR, which I wouldn't have known if it was just the Zwift. If it was just the Zwift recording, but because the Zwift recording doesn't record what power you do in the pens and like until the like timer starts for a Zwift race. So the first like 30 seconds or so of that activity don't get counted on that Zwift activity.
Which are
And
typically
like,
pretty high power.
yeah.
Yep.
And so there's like, it ended up being 5 watts lower for my 20-minute power in the Zwift activity versus my Garmin activity.
Yeah.
That's all, it's both the same, they're both connected to the same power meter. So I personally like, I don't know. I like it, but because of the specific way I do things, I don't know if I'm going to use it.
That's fair. I like it as a concept. I'm glad Zwift did it, and I think
Yeah,
that's as far as I'm going with it.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if it's going to be a focus for me or if it really matters in my life, but I like that they did it, and given Zwift's history with this kind of thing, I think if something doesn't work well, they're going to be willing to adjust it a little bit. So yeah, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I think we don't want to tell you you should only ride on Zwift and never ride outdoors. I think that whole concept. They're
yeah.
they're on the right track. Whether this is perfect or not, they're on the right track.
I guess the other really
Yeah,
important thing that has come out that follows off of this is that you now have a Scotty squirrel in your pocket if you
I
ride
that's
long
the
enough.
that is really what we should have led with on the news here.
yeah.
The Scotty squirrel in the pocket is amazing. Yeah. So I
In,
have a Scotty squirrel medallion now because I'm over 4 weeks. And
I,
anyway,
I, I haven't checked, but I should have the full thing since I said I have like a 36-week streak now. But yeah, it was first introduced a bit jokingly as on April Fool's Day on Tuesday as a tidbit, but apparently it was just a preview for something they do. And but just coming back from that double recording, or yeah, in the article of DC Remake, he said potentially next week you will be able to delete activities you have to do it itself, but at some point soon, as he said, they will be doing a deduplication to mitigate issues like you have if you record it with two devices by Zwift or your Garmin.
yeah. So the other pieces on this season on Zwift. So it's not yet, but it's gonna come. Is a split button in the hut in Zwift, so you can make your own manual splits. So yay. Um,
That lap button is something that we've been begging for a while.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I just want to hit that when it goes uphill uh,
Yep.
on Bologna, right? Um, so yeah, there's one. Then the critical power display for peak 5, 60, 5 minute, and 20-minute power. That's great.
yeah, it's taking over a bit like things which had it on like software Swift, so it's
Yeah.
take
So
yeah.
yeah,
And on
some of this
basic
stuff.
computers, yeah, on basic in every bicycle computer essentially.
Yep. So I mean, this is stuff that you can do on bike computers. You've been able to do on Sauce for Zwift, and is now in Zwift natively. So that means that people not on a PC can do it. So if you use an Apple TV or a Android or iOS tablet or phone, you can now do that too.
I am interested with where the splits show up, whether that is like what the implementation will look like for leaderboards versus like
So
it's
it looks like it's in the same place as leaderboards are. I don't know what that means when you're in a race and you also want to see leaderboards. So
yep.
yeah, I'm with you that might be interesting. So yeah,
I've only seen the screenshot, so I don't
yeah,
know indeed where it will come.
yeah. So the screenshot does show it in the same place as the leaderboard.
Yeah.
The screenshot that Eric put in for on Zwift Insider.
I would guess that the implementation will be that like when the leaderboards show up, it'll like flip or replace the splits for that the time when the leaderboard's up, and then it'll revert back. That's my guess, but
So I don't want to.
But
To
that could
me,
be kind of
there's a pure winner here on what the biggest news is. So let's jump to an optional upgrade for the Zwift ride of cranks of different lengths. Now, so this is actually a multi-length crank that you have multiple holes you can screw your pedals into. Um, Funny enough, these are so not with the 5 holes that this has, but with 2 holes. These are actually used for kids in BMX because crank length is
oh,
super important. So yeah, there is a company selling, you know, 2 length cranks in BMX. So it's not a brand new product. I've seen something
Yeah,
almost identical before,
I mean
I
but
they're
think
on many of the like with
kicker
the
bikes.
kicker bike,
yeah,
the
yeah,
elite
Yeah,
version, those kinds of things. Yeah.
yeah. But actually, let me find it. I think it's
but the Swift Ride was only shipping with 170 millimeter cranks.
yeah, and
So
I
you
mean, so I
and
can't get my
it
I can't get my 180s, but
yeah, and it will still ship with the same cranks, but it's
for an additional.
you can buy another new crank with the different crank lengths.
yeah.
I tried one
Surprisingly,
today.
it's 100 in every currency. So Swift doesn't care about currency conversions apparently.
Nope.
I'm more surprised. Like I think the biggest news here is that Craig rides with 180s. That's wild.
So this is where so I I might switch back to 180s this year. I switched from 180s to 175s for BMX last year. BMX typically people use the longest cranks pot that they can actually spin.
The longest cranks that you can go around a turn with without clipping.
No, you see,
You don't pedal on the turns.
you don't pedal
Yeah.
when you're really leaning over a turn
Yeah.
because you know the whole you don't put the accelerator down when you're at the inside of it at the apex of a turn, right?
Yeah.
So no, the it's the start, right? So the start means everything in BMX. So on the first pedal, the leverage matters.
Yep.
So yeah, the leverage matters. Longer cranks help you on the start on first movement. If you can get ahead, you're allowed to move over and cut people off. Like that's the name of the game in BMX. So people use the longest cranks that they can spin smoothly. You still need to spin it. So I'm 6 feet and I'm a long-legged 6 feet. Like I have a short torso, long legs. Um, I'll run 180s. I have run 185s. They're too long for me. But
Those would be mine.
those would be you. And honestly, you might need 190. You would probably be able to handle 190s for BMX.
That's
Um,
wild.
so
I'm on
yeah.
175s for my road bike.
See, so I switched my road bike to 175s to make it the same as BMX, just because that's my focus. But yeah, anyway.
Interesting.
Um, yeah, I was probably better on Zwift when I was using 170s, but like I said, that's not what I'm training for. So Zwift is a
Yeah,
training.
is it about the cranks or is it about your engine? I'm guessing it's the
So
engine.
no, there's some of both. I
Yeah.
think for Zwift, I think there's an advantage to spinning faster over leverage in Zwift. So yeah, so yeah, there's both, but I don't think the 175s are an advantage to me in Zwift in any way, shape, or form, I guess, is really all I'm saying there. 170s would be a disadvantage to me in BMX, though. Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, Steph, are you going to be getting new cranks for your Zwift ride?
Honestly, I don't have with the current length of cranks. I don't really have an issue. I think
Yeah, I
it's
feel like you're
for
right in
me.
the middle.
Yeah, I'm a 1 meter 80 80 centimeters, so 182 centimeters high. So I think that's around, I don't know, 5'11", 6 feet, something like that in freedom units. I don't know.
Yeah. So 170s work for you.
Yeah, I've no issue with fixed length. But yeah, it's yeah, and like I said, if you want it, it doesn't come standard with the standard crank length. You have to pay 100 in your local currency in US, EU, or UK, depending on.
I don't love that. I do think that it's kind of a missed opportunity. Like,
Yeah,
why not just include it as part
and
of the Zwift ride?
So
Yeah,
I
the
really
way
want to go. I want to figure out what bearings you would need to press in for 24 millimeter on the Zwift ride and sell an upgrade kit and tell Zwift that this is what you should have done in the first place. But anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
they're trying to
it
keep the Swift ride really simple. So
yeah.
that's why they only sell them with 170 millimeters.
yeah. But
So if you really need another one, then
if they
you can
sold
buy
it
it
with
now.
170 millimeter, 24 millimeter Holotech 2 cranks, you can buy, or Holotech 2 compatible cranks, you can buy them for $60 Canadian, not even American dollars. And yeah, it's not really expensive, and it would have let people put what they want on there, because there's definitely people that for whom 170 is too long. There's a lot of people who fit on a Zwift ride for whom 170 is too long. So
Yeah, and seems and looking at the pictures, because it's just plastic, 100 euros for just a different crank length in plastic with additional holes at the point seems a bit
Yeah.
steep, but yeah.
Yeah. So I guess anyway, the headline bit of all of the updates is,
New
well,
roads.
yeah, new roads. I will say there's also, and this is almost certainly going to get much more play. Ventop now has segments on it, so just like OptiZwift and the grade, you now get little updates on how well you're doing as you climb it. That will totally get more people to ride Ventop, I'm sure.
Now, and you also get the spinner like you get on the
That's
Alps.
true. Yep.
you
You
can get
also
your
get it.
release.
So, 10 times as many people are going to be riding it, which 10 times 0 is still 0. But no, I do think that this will get more people riding Ventop. It's
Yeah.
just
It
You know
divides
what's gonna,
the
you know what?
scoring a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, what's gonna get people riding Ventop more than that is the improvements to the French map complete. So, in addition to that improvement to Ventop, is the new roads in France. So this is in here too. There's going to be released to do with the Paris-Roubaix Femme avec Zwift race. So
Next week.
next week, yep. So
from the
terrific.
7th, so from next week's Monday onward. So yeah.
Yep.
So it's gonna include some cobblestones, of course, because it's Paruba, not next weekend. So for most of us, it won't have an issue. Apparently, if you have a Tax Neo with sensitivity, you will probably die.
Yeah. Well, so as we've talked to people that have that trainer, virtually everyone has turned it off after 10 minutes. So, yeah, it's great that it's couples, but it's not going to matter for anyone because nobody leaves that on.
No.
It seems also because of their new roads, also new routes. They have also event 10, so it's a 10 kilometer, I think, event up, and apparently they have like they have with the great turning point roads somewhere up vent up. So they looking at the pictures on Zwift Insider. But yeah, the pictures look great with the cobblestones mixed into the French environment or scenery.
Yeah, from what I've seen, the new courses will or they go up and top, or they go around all the other roads, but there's no combination of the two.
No.
Okay.
So it will not help to get more people to ride Fentop probably. So
I think more people riding France will get more people riding Ventop.
Yeah.
That's actually all I meant by that is.
But it's not like you're choosing a route and it goes also like halfway to front up and back down or something.
No,
That's
yeah.
there's no such routes.
So basically, we need a Ventop after party.
Oh no,
I'm not sure we
that is
need it.
absolutely unnecessary.
So
Ventop is
1
its
hour
own party.
ride followed by a 2.5 hour climb after party.
Yeah, no. Mont
Marjolein,
Ventoux is its own after party.
based on like where on the map generally are these roads?
From what I've seen, it's in the middle of the France map.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what I saw, it kind of runs down the middle,
Okay.
from near the
It doesn't
castle
expand the
to
map.
from near the castle to near the Ballon Sprint, I think, was one of the things, and I think it went off to the east-ish, maybe, more towards the Petit KOM.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
you have the RGV as outer loop and the connecting roads in between them. You can
Which
okay.
makes sense because it's a 20K, which is really big. So it's hard to if you're going to make any additional routes, it's hard to make them with just a 20K loop plus up Ventop and Petit KOM. So those more things let them do more things with routes, or going through the middle let them do more things with routes. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's where I would have expected more roads.
Yeah.
There are quite a lot of sprint segments in there, so that's could be a nice addition for HSRL.
Yay!
It does look like
There's a pavé sprint. They're gonna tax Neo with. Sorry.
It looks like one of the new routes, and this is maybe already out, but I hadn't seen this. So there's a Von 10 that's just essentially the first half of Ventop, and it looks like there is actually a turnaround after the banner now, so that you
Yeah,
get to the top and it just pops you around on a little side road, and then you come right back down, which
yeah,
that's
that is what I mentioned. But yeah, that seems, yeah, it's a kind of great style where you also have that like turnaround point at the top.
cool.
Is anyone going to ride on top?
I'll do
Yes,
it once more
I
at
will
least.
ride Ventop sometime this month. I will
I
commit.
still, I still need to do it to get the badge because I don't have. I have a round badge now. I also have to do Vantop still.
I think I've only done Ventop 3 or 4 times, so yeah.
There was a day when they were doing the double Ventop in the tour, and I was
Yes.
like, you know what? I'm gonna do double Ventop today. And I got about 3/4 of the way through the first one, and my knee hurt, and I said, no, I'm not.
No, this is a stupid idea. Yes.
Yeah, why would I do this?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think
Um,
the last time I went up there was with the club championships with
Yep.
James
yep.
completely destroying himself.
Oh, I don't think James has ever done a better race than that race.
Yeah.
Like he smashed that climb. Because I think I beat Brent by like a minute and a half, but I was like 5 minutes or more behind James. Like he killed it. Now he was destroyed for like 3 weeks, but he killed that race. But yeah, no, that's so I think that is the headline. That is the biggest piece of the news is more roads in France. And then there's a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
also
but
seems to be.
Scotty is also important.
Scotty is
Yeah,
really important. Yeah, the little waving squirrel in my pocket. It
Yeah.
that so and this is I said in our Pinktron chat. I don't care what anybody else says. The BMX bike makes Zwift better, and so does the waving squirrel. So yeah, it's a game. It's a training tool. It's fun. Make it fun. That's fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
and and also some newer custom features like
yeah.
average
Being
speed,
able to
average
drag them.
work per kilos, whatever,
And there's
weightage
some
power.
exotic sensors that some
Yeah,
people I
Yeah, I tried
I
one.
think I probably can safely call them triathletes. That but yeah, there's some
Yeah,
exotic
probably.
sensors that are now supported and can show up on the HUD. So yeah,
Yeah, it's probably for like the serious indoor racer.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure that's the serious
The
indoor racer.
core.
I think that's the triathlete. Um,
No, but the core sensor, I think maintaining a good body temperature, low body temperature, and not overheating is important in racing. But
sure.
yeah, for the average racer, no.
Yeah.
I tried one today, but yeah, there's nothing really adding for me as an average racer.
I I can't get one because I know that my approach would be how high can I make that number go up?
That is not
Like turn
what
off
that
all
thing
the
is for,
fans.
Sean.
Yeah. Turn on the heater, turn off all the fans, see how high the number go up.
Oh God, yeah, I've done that. Not with a scorecard, but yeah, I've done that. Anyway, that was stupid, and we won't talk about it.
Coming from our ping Tron chat, Steve is now fine with the Zwift outdoor XP as long as you yell loudly ride onto every cyclist or the cyclist too.
Don't you do that? I do that. Right on.
I wave or nod at some people.
Actually, someone did a really good imitation of the ride-on sound today on our outdoor ride.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That I enjoy that, and that is exactly what Zwift Community Live should be,
Yeah.
is people imitating the in-game
People
ride-on sound,
mooing a sheep.
moving
It
it.
wasn't me.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
me, but
Excellent.
So a couple of years ago, when we did the herd meetup for the Ride the Point down in San Diego, somebody had a on their helmet had a little spring with a little thumbs up above it. So rode around for the whole thing with a little ride on above their head.
That's amazing too.
yeah, that's genius.
Yeah, that stuff is what, yeah, real life meetups with people you know on Zwift. That's what that's for, and that's awesome. So I think we've been doing this for long enough. We did not hit and around the horn, but I don't think we need to fill any more time. So Jeff,
Around the what Stef filled in there somewhere.
yeah. So definitely special thank you to Marjolein for the on-site report from Zwift Community Live. Thank you
Yeah,
to
I would have walked you around, but yeah, it's a little bit noisy probably, so stayed at the
it's
hotel
also a
room for
podcast
now.
and nobody else would
Yeah,
care.
also
Uh,
that.
Thank you to Stef Etienne. Thank you to Sean Fogenberg. Moo and good night.